All right, well, welcome to today's class, which I had just said was one of my absolute favorite things to talk about, which is like fall smells. So I was a fall, I was a candle junkie, and primarily they were almost all fall smells. It was just my favorite thing in the world. It just makes me think of like warm and cozy. And I live in the Midwest, and I love summer weather, but like fall is my favorite. And it just everything about fall, like whether it's back to school, new fresh stuff, or like crunchy leaves and apple cider, and then of course all things pumpkin. And so I had I can't even tell you when I started getting kind of obsessed with pumpkin. Like I'm not like basic, like it doesn't have to be a latte. I just enjoy the smell. So I don't know when that happened, but I do know that throughout my life, when I came into Young Living, I was actually pretty sick. And through learning about some of what we're going to talk about today, through learning about some of the toxins and some of the stuff in my environment, as I started weeding out some of my beloved things, those candles, um, I found out that some of the things I'd been experiencing in my health for the decades I was an adult started going away. And so I don't think we talk about this enough. And we just wanted to have a presentation that you could share with other people who maybe have some of the same issues I do. They love the smells and they want healthier alternatives. Safe, budget friendly, easy, and versatile is what we're talking about today. And so I think sometimes we don't necessarily know about how powerful smell can be. Our sense of smell is estimated to be 10,000 times more acute than our other senses, and it's sensitive to thousands of chemical compounds that, when they're registered, scent travels faster to the brain than either sight or sound. And when we inhale the fragrance of an essential oil, the odor molecules travel up our nose, where they're registered by the nerves of the olfactory membranes of the nose lining. And those molecules are going to stimulate the nerve cells and trigger electrical impulses to the olfactory bulb in the brain. That's going to transmit the impulse to the amygdala, where our emotional memories are stored, and to other parts of our limbic system. And it happens in a millisecond, way faster than it takes me to pronounce some of those words, right? So because that limbic system is directly connected to the parts of our brain that control our heart rate, our blood pressure, our breathing, our memory and stress levels and balance, and all the things, essential oils can have a profound physiological and psychological effect. And it can even alter the body's physiology and behavior. So today we're going to be talking about this powerhouse of smells. And I want to take you there with me for just a second. And I want to think about what your favorite smell is. And maybe this is why there's something back to my childhood that fall smells makes me feel safe or warm or cozy or even prepared for the winter. I don't know. But a couple of other big smells that I'm a huge fan of is, like, one of them's orange. Orange just makes me happy. I smell it and immediately, no matter what I'm dealing with, it goes, something changes in my brain. Also, warm yeast rolls. I think back to when I was climbing up the steps to my grandma's house, and you could just smell the bread smells with the door opening and these like warm yeasty rolls. Do any of you guys have a memory like this? With that smell would just take me back to this spot in time. And it just made me think of family and love and all these wonderful things. I just found out in the last couple of years that she actually used Mrs. Rhodes. So I don't feel quite so bad now, but the smell can still take me back to being a child and thinking that my grandma was amazing and could just do all these things, right? When I taught foster parenting classes, we would teach foster parents to be very aware of smell. Sometimes children who were in foster care would have this grab on, like, maybe they would smell a cologne in the aisle of Target, and it would take them back to the smell of maybe a person who had mistreated them. And so smell is so powerful. And we can actually use that to help our brains do great, great things. I'm excited about that. I know that, like, I can't be the only person who loves like the fall smells. Are you with me? If you tell me in the chat box. Here's the thing. When we put a fall smell in our house, those really pretty candles, we're not the only ones impacted. So our husband's impacted, so our children, our pets, everybody in that home can be impacted by some of the ingredients in there. The artificial fragrance in calendars in candles can cause headaches, hormone disruptors, dizziness, allergies, asthma, and cancer. And I am so thankful that somebody else helped me get to a new spot, because we want our homes to smell good. And the way we do that before Young Living is we cover smells with fragrance, candles, room sprays, body and skincare. My husband's a youth pastor. And so, like, have you ever been into a middle school youth room and it's like they just cover that odor, right? We're guilty. Have you been to the store and bought like garbage bags and you get home and they have like a smell on them, or toilet paper and they have a smell on them? These fragrances are changing our bodies. And fragrance is kind of a dirty word. It didn't start that way, but fragrance or perfume on an ingredient list actually represents a trade secret fragrance recipe that could be made up of 1 or 2 chemicals, but more likely hundreds of synthetic chemicals. And those chemicals, if they're selected from a reservoir of about 5,000 ingredients, don't have to be disclosed or even tested for safety. According to an environmental working group study, 72% of products with the ingredient fragrance had endocrine disruptors in them called phthalates. And those have been linked to diabetes, obesity, liver, breast cancer, hormone disruption affecting fertility and development, as well as linked to ADHD and autism. And here's kind of some scary things, because we don't know what those things are, because there's the secrecy behind it. They want to protect their trade secret, but that lack of transparency in labels, there's no way for us to make an informed decision about what a fragrance product is. And up to 95% of those synthetic chemicals that make fragrance recipes are derived from petrochemicals. Those particular ingredients are known carcinogens, and so they cause cancer. Neurotoxins, which cause nervous system disorders. Think of how much nervous system disorders we've seen increase over this time. Birth defects, allergies, metabolic disorders, so many things that are impacting our respiratory and our weight and all of the things. And to make it worse, so many times things that are labeled unscented are actually a fragrance product covering or masking what the fragrance was that was actually there. So here you think, oh, I'm grabbing free and clear and it's going to be okay because it's unscented. But really, it's only unscented because they've covered it. And that's scary to me too. So we are paying a price in our home. We are paying a price with some of these toxins. And that high price is just the health risk that comes to our family. It's not just candles. We're going to talk about other ideas tonight. Today we're going to give you some great helps. We know that when essential oils are put into the home, they help oxygenate the air. They help, cleanse the air. They help with even the electrical magnetic attraction that fractures the molecular chain of chemicals, and it takes it out of the air. And so we know that we have a way that's going to be helpful to you. Scientists in Europe have found that essential oils bond to metallics and chemicals, and they carry them out of the body. And they do this by working as a chelator, inhibiting those toxic substances from even staying in your tissues. When we are using oils, Young Living specifically, because you don't want something that has extra things added into it. When you are putting that into your air and into your products, you are actually creating a better filtration system for your body and your home and even the world. That's actually a partial quote from Gary Young. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that we need to ditch out of our home. And I hope that maybe some of the education part behind this helps propel you from our habits, our emotional connections to things that we've been doing, into a place where you have healthy, clean, and restorative air in your home, where what you breathe is helping play a critical role in your overall well-being, where you get an emotional and physical growth and improvement in your home and in your family. Air quality is really crucial. It can be even more toxic than the outside. And so I'm happy to pass it to Stacy and start learning more about what we need to.
Thanks, Amanda. All that is so important. We have so many people coming to us wanting to improve their health, and they want to know what to put on their bodies, but they're not always aware of what they should be avoiding as well. We can't just cover up the bad stuff with the good stuff. We need to be, making a switch in a lot of areas. And we are surrounded with those artificial fragrances that you're talking about. It's in candles, it's in those little wax pods, it's in room sprays. all kinds of things. I remember we went to an Airbnb once, and I walked in to the house, and it was immediately my sinuses were burning. I'm like, oh my gosh, where is it? Where is it? Anyway, I found one of those little plug-in things, and went to go take it outside because I thought I can't even have this in the house. We got to get rid of it. We found them in several different plugs, and I put them outside on the porch, and then came inside, and I could still smell it. And I realized it was coming from my hands. I literally washed my hands probably 35 times. I could not get the smell off my hands. This stuff is just so incredibly toxic. So years ago, when I was having a lot of adrenal and hormone issues, I went to a doctor, and she told me I needed to get rid of all that stuff because like you said, they're endocrine disruptors. They really mess with our hormones. And people don't realize that. I also had a daughter that was on the spectrum and needed a lot of, was very sensitive to chemical fragrances and certain foods and things like that. And so that was a really important thing that we needed to get rid of. But it is in everything. It's in bounce sheets, it's in, or whatever, dryer sheets. I shouldn't say brand, sorry. All those kinds of things. You have to be careful of it everywhere. You get an Uber, and they have one of those little air freshener things hanging in their mirror. I'm like, can I just open the windows because I can't breathe in here? You're poisoning me. And then, so it's a good opportunity to share with them what they could be using, but you have to be a little more polite than that, I guess. Yeah, so let's go on to the next. We do have better, safer options. Oops, look at that. We misspelled things. Let's see. There we go. We do have safer options, and we're going to talk about this on this call. We're super excited to be able to share these things. We do have alternatives to what's out there. I've always been a really big smell good person. I like for things to smell good. That's how I attach it to memories and emotions and things like that. And it's the way that our limbic system works. So it's really, really cool. And I liked what Amanda was talking about, just the describing the different foods. Just like we have comfort foods, we have comfort smells. And so that's kind of the fun thing about a lot of the fall scents. I grew up in Texas, and so we didn't have much of a fall, but I liked having the fall smell so I could pretend, right? You could pretend we had a fall. And so now that I live in Illinois, we have a real fall. And so it means a lot more being able to see the leaves changing colors and experience the full thing. But we are going to share some, let's see, go over to the diffusers. We have some of the most beautiful diffusers that I have a diffuser literally in every single room of my house. And so this is an excellent way of getting the smells and the scents into your house in a really beautiful way. One of the things I liked about candles is I would just like put them all over my house. I would put them on the fireplace mantle, and I'd have them on the table, and I'd have them here and there because I like the ambiance of it. But you can do the same thing with a diffuser, and it's actually even more beautiful. And if you just really have to have a candle, there's beeswax candles that you can light and then have your diffuser going for the scent. You don't need to be breathing in toxins to have ambiance. So more than just for aroma purposes, diffusers also function as a humidifier and an atomizer. So it's really kind of cool that we can have that happening. Plus it just gives a really kind of a spa-like feel to it when you have that mist coming into the air. That not only can you use this as a pure plant-based replacement for all the other products in your house that are supposed to make it smell good, most people don't realize that by diffusing essential oils, you're also benefiting your health as well. I hosted a baby shower at my house one time, and a lady sat in the chair beside my diffuser because it was a very crowded room. It was like the only chair she had. And later on, I got an email from her. I didn't know her. She was like a relative of the girl that we were hosting for. I got an email from her, and she said, I just want you to know that when I sat beside that thing that you had going with the mist coming out of it, I was terrified because I get really bad headaches from any kind of scents. And she said, and it didn't give me a headache. In fact, it made me feel relaxed, and it smelled amazing. So it was kind of cool to hear that kind of testimony from somebody who was totally against scents, right? But they purify the air, they eliminate odors, they cleanse, they support healthy breathing. When anybody's dealing with any kind of breathing issues, I always have a diffuser going. It's very comforting. It's a nice way to help them. It supports immune health. It elevates moods, brings alertness and concentration. If you are studying or you have any kind of anything you're working on that you really need to focus on it, having that diffuser going is really good. And that it's also a way to get your kids, to benefit your kids, whether or not they want to actually apply the oils or use them. You can have the whole house benefiting health-wise when you have your diffuser going. Also supports restful sleep, so you can have that going at night. Very, very helpful. Yeah, I mean, the list goes on. The diffuser is good for so many things. Diffusing is amazing. Okay, jarred candles. Again, we've already talked about that a little bit, but they're really expensive. We owned a tea room in Texas for years, and this was back in my candle days, and so I carried every candle known to man. We had all the different scents, and especially in fall, that was a big seller for us. But they were super, super expensive. A high quality jarred candle cost around $25. But imagine if you're diffusing that. That's 110 hours of burn time, right? Amanda's going to talk a little bit more about the price differences on that, because it's so much cheaper to diffuse. And here we have, Amanda has put together some other fall recipes that we have. Gingerbread cookie, pumpkin pie, an I've baked all day blend, jump in the leaves, spice chai, cinnamon rolls. There's a bunch of them. And we actually have some that we're going to share with you. And Amanda, can you put those in the chat section? We have a pumpkin spice one. We have, well, we're going to get to that one, I guess. I thought that was earlier. So we have some blends to share with you. Feel free to screenshot any of these for these recipes, by the way, but we do have some recipe cards as well. Another thing that I like to do, I am all about aesthetics. So when I have a pretty diffuser in the living room, I don't necessarily want to have an oil bottle right there unless it matches everything else in the room. I know it's kind of an OCD thing. So I like to actually have diffuser bottles. And so these are a few of examples that you can use, but you don't actually have to do the dropper bottles if you don't want to. You can actually reuse, if you can see this, you can reuse your 15 ml or 5 ml bottles and put the cute little labels on it. And we're going to give you a link to some of the labels and some of the Canva links as well, so that you can personalize those yourself. But it's a good way of just making the whole area look really pretty. And you can make your own blends that way and come up with your own recipes. Just all kinds of options. Lost my page. And here's some more diffuser balm recipes: pumpkin pie, apple cider, fresh sparkling snow, balsam and cedar, fireside. Lots of good stuff there too.
Hang on 1 second. I got one more to paste. Don't go on yet.
Oh, sorry.
I'm trying to, no, you're doing fantastic. It's your tech support is a little slow on the uptake. Okay, I'm gonna.
All kinds of good stuff.
Well, you do a beautiful job giving these available to us for people to use. So it would be nice if it would paste with the description. And do you give those diffuser bombs as gifts?
I do. I like to do it that way. And if you want to use your recycled bottles, you can buy just I don't know if this one fits on here, but you can buy just the little dropper top in different colors. You can just get a plain black one, or you can get different colors. There's little wooden ones, and then you can give that as a gift with a label on it, and it's perfect. And you may want to put your own blend in there. It's up to you. Okay. Or you just put the bottle with an actual, blend that's from Young Living too. So that's another option. Okay, so we are on, make sure we're on the same page here. Okay, so the Thieves Cleaner. Now, who wants to jazz up their Thieves Cleaner? Because, I love the smell of the Thieves household cleaner as it is, because that's one of the first things that right after we've cleaned, if somebody walks in the house, you're like, wow, why does your house smell so amazing? Well, it's actually not an air freshener. It's not a toxic candle. It's not any of those things. It's just my cleaner, and it's all plant-based. And so it's an opportunity to share health with people in that way. But you can also make other scents with it. So you can add, this is a really cool pumpkin spice Thieves cleaner recipe. And you just add that to your regular mixed bottle of Thieves, and you have you kind of have a revved up version of the Thieves cleaner, and it smells amazing. If you want your whole house to smell like pumpkin spice without even diffusing, you can do it with your cleaning sprays. And you could just use, there's a lot of other ways that you can do that too. You could use some of our fall blends. What do we have? What's the one I like? Oh yeah, the orange spiced cider. This one, if you still have some of that, that is really nice in the Thieves cleaner as well. I like I always like that orange and cinnamon combination. I think it smells very, very festive. You can even Christmas Spirit. The Christmas Spirit blend is another one that you can add to your Thieves cleaner. And that one is one of my favorites. Where am I?
Oh, me too. I just think that I put that caramel apple. I'm gonna be honest with you. As much as I love pumpkin, I love caramel apple also. So I put that in the chat box while you were.
Oh, good.
While
Yeah.
you're,
Talk about a comfort food.
I know. Okay, here's some more.
Okay, so we also have a recipe card link for you. And this one has the one card has 3 different recipes on it, and also directions. So this is actually a really good recipe card to share with a gift. So these are the bottles. These glass amber bottles are gorgeous. And we have the Canva link for the labels to go along with that. So this would be a great way to share with, for teachers or for, a hostess gift or whatever. You could either make up a bottle of one of these recipes with it and then share the recipe card so they can switch it out or make the same one again. But it makes a really good, inexpensive gift.
I love that we have options that are safe and that we know smell good. And I'm personally a fan of the easy button. So if you get something from Young Living that is already mixed, like you said, just pop it in the thing. Now you do like let's put hold your bottle back up. How many drops you put in that thing?
25. So if you look at the recipe card in the top right corner, it gives the instructions.
Yeah. And
so how much you're adding.
That's so easy. And you can make everything smell in your house. Like you can put the things in your diffusers that you put into your spray bottles. You might find there's been simplified collections from Young Living that I personally grab onto and wear almost as a perfume. So whether you can add it to your vacuum cleaner filter, you can add it to some baking soda and sprinkle it on your carpet. When you see people, there's like collections of cleaners. Sometimes we can do this with an easy button, and we can do it at the best value. And
Amanda,
yes,
I like to actually mix these recipes up in a dropper bottle, and then it makes it easy to add my 25 drops, into a spray bottle, or I can use it in my diffuser, or I can use it in whatever way that I want to, but I mix the blend up first in a dropper.
And you can use them in every place. I sometimes even tuck like some cotton balls in a car vent if I'm going somewhere, and I like when you pre-mix it like that, it's so easy to use and just to go. And you mentioned I don't know how we to this class and we got a little separate. It's a great value. So if you just do 5 drops of Thieves and 5 drops of orange, you're going to get that 110 hours of diffusing for $12 compared to the cost of a candle. And cheap candles don't burn for 110 hours. So, and then they start looking gross, and your diffuser is just always going to look beautiful and clean. And you can have seasonal smelling cleaners for under $1.15 a bottle. You just to take your thieves concentrate and add some oils. There are tons of recipes. We put a wish list up that with some of Stacy's favorites up in the chat box. If you are in Young Living and you click on that, it will take you as if you're logged in. It's not like Stacy's going to you know, that's connected to her. It's just a easy way. Now you can save it to your account and share it with other people so that they too can get that good smell, and you'll get the referral from that. And that's pretty exciting. So make sure that if you are clicking that wish list I posted, that you go ahead and save it for yourself. Or if you're new here today or watching this video, that you ask the person who invited you to today's call for their link. And they can help you customize a list that's just for you. We did not add all of the oils from across from some of what we talked about today, because sometimes we get oils for free. Did anybody else get orange free last month? Or we've had nutmeg free and ginger free. So you're able to go ahead and take those and use them in your favorite recipes. And that room spray, I have to tell you, I have a family member who is a huge fan of some room sprays that are not as clean. And I know that she pays like $5 a bottle for her room sprays. And you get to not only customize your room spray to something you love, know that it's healthy for you. And it's literally, I can't even tell you, pennies on the dollar. Plus you get to reuse them. Plus you don't have to worry about any of those added chemicals or VOCs. And so I think that is just absolutely a beautiful option. Added benefit, when you bring the oils into your home, you have them when you need them for the health purposes. And so I just want to encourage you, we've mentioned some of our favorites today, but each and every one of these oils brings benefit to your body. And so that's the added bonus for me. I just want to say thank you for coming. We hope you have an amazing week. We're going to go ahead and stop the recording with a couple of quick reminders about our upcoming classes.